Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. It's the Premier League Roundup show with me and Josh. Josh, firstly, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You alright?
Yeah, not too bad. So we're going to go through all of the Premier League games, give our thoughts on them, bit in depth in. Josh is going to go in depth into the Aston Villa game. I've got the privilege to talk a lot about the West Ham game. But firstly, we will get on with the first game. Then the first game, Arsenal 0, Everton 1. Josh.
Yeah, it was always going to be a big game, quite a big game for both sides if they want to get Europa League. I know Europa League doesn't matter too much for Arsenal because they're going to win the Europa League this season, so they can get into the Champions League for next season. But I'm sure they'd still want to try and make that last push for top six if they can, and Everton would surely want to do that as well. So it's always going to be a big game, but it was going to be difficult for Arsenal because the injury problems. They had no Aubameyang and Lacazette were injured, so it was always going to be difficult. I think the penalty to Arsenal, it was never a penalty, so I'm kind of glad they give the offside but I don't think it was offside as well. So it was a weird one, but it was definitely never a penalty, and I don't know what the goalie was doing for the goal. It was just Richarlison did well to get past his man, but then it was like a shocking low cross. But he had it in his hands and he seemed to throw it in his own net.
I've always partially liked Leno, but I just don't know what's happened to him in the last couple of weeks. He's had some absolute howlers, and how on earth he's let that through his legs? I don't know. I mean, for how much they get paid to let the ball through their legs like that, it's Arteta, Arsenal fans must have been absolutely livid.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let's see who's in the chat. Evening. FIFA career mode unofficial evening. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. So Arsenal could have done us a bit of a favour in terms of our Champions League hopes. I mean, that brings Everton into it a little bit now. But yeah. Moving on to the next game then. It was looking quite comfortable going into the, what should we say, the 89th minute. Liverpool 1, Newcastle 0. Then they scored 2 goals in 3 minutes at Anfield. I think they deserved something from the game. Josh, did Newcastle. I thought they did really, really well. I mean, when they conceded early, I thought this was going to be a thrashing, but they held it there, and really, I don't think the first goal should have been disallowed. They could have won with 2 90-plus minute winners.
Yeah, definitely. Like as you said, as soon as Salah scored that goal in the first few minutes, I thought it was going to be like 4, 5, 6 now, maybe even to Liverpool. But the fair play to Newcastle, they kept themselves in the game. They defended really well. They had a few chances as well. No, Longstaff had one, which was a good save by the goalie, and they just kept defended brilliantly, and I know the defence hasn't been the best this season, so they did well to keep themselves in the game. Didn't let Liverpool break them down, which is really good. And then they're probably safe now after that result, because I knew it was looking likely anyway. But that is a huge point. And Wilson's goal in like the 93rd minute, was it? I'm not sure. I don't think it should have been disallowed. It was definitely should have been a goal. They had hard luck there, and Liverpool always get luck with VAR. But luckily for them, they deserved that. I think they got one a couple of minutes later, 95th, 96th, something like that. Willock, it's been a really good signing for them since he's come, and that should definitely secure their safety now.
Yeah, completely. And I mean, let's not say Liverpool, they had their chances. They could, I mean, Jota could have had 2. I did watch most of the game. They could have had plenty, Liverpool, but they didn't take their chances. And yeah, I mean, it was harsh to give that handball away. And then Joe Willock, as you said, fantastic signing for them. He scored quite a few winners in the last couple of weeks, and he seems to be looking like a great signing for them. And I think that secures, as you said, Newcastle's safety in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, it definitely does, because Fulham and West Brom are West Brom haven't been doing too bad lately, but they just left it too late, and Fulham the opposite really. They were doing well, and then now it's late on. They've dipped a lot. So I think that should definitely secure their safety if they can get a few more wins. It's done mathematically, I think. So they that should do it. They have enough quality now. Newcastle, I think they were struggling a few months ago because Sam Maximan and Wilson were injured. Now they have them two up front, and they're getting Willock more involved. They have a really good attack. That attack should all be playing in the Premier League. So I think the attack should definitely keep them up now.
I feel without St Maximan, I think it'll be a very different season for Newcastle as the last few, because he's one of the fastest players in the league, and I feel without him, they got Callum Wilson. Joe Woolett's been a fantastic loan signing. I feel they would have been down. How many games St Maxim's won? Newcastle's just out there, and I feel he's kept them in the Premier League for another season. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I know when he was injured that they were missing that, and I think he had coronavirus, so he was out for about 10 games, and they were really missing him, and they went a losing streak, and that was when he looked like they were going down, and then he come off the bench against Burnley, and the other week, and he completely changed the game, and since then their form's been really good. They've got points against Liverpool, got a point against Spurs, that win against Burnley, sure they beat someone else as well. So they've done really well since he's come back.
Yeah, I feel they look like they were going to be very much in the relegation battle, and they have dug themselves out of it. We'll get on to Fulham in a bit, but they've lost their last 4 games. I think that consolidates their relegation now. But let's take some comments. Scott, hope you are well on the course today. Were you? Great Canning Town Lent picture behind you. Yeah, it was in the thumbnail by Josh. He said there he's got his Canning Town Lent picture. I mean, I got mine here, there, everywhere, Josh.
Yeah, it's really good. It looks like me, doesn't it? It's yeah, very good.
Yeah. He does a good job, that's for sure, and they look fantastic. Cyber Leader, I'm good. And evening, ladies. Hope you're well, Luke. Hope you're well. Always comes up with evening, ladies. But the next game, I'm gonna say my bet, and then Josh can say his bit from a neutral perspective. West Ham United 0, Chelsea 1. Oh, it's another setback in our Champions League hopes. I mean, I think we can accept this. West Ham fans still won't accept the loss to Newcastle last week. We all thought that really wasn't very good, but that's for many reasons. But I thought we didn't have nothing up front. We didn't have no attacking intent. I thought Lingard wasn't at it again. I'm not going to sit here and blame him because he's had 2 bad games since he's been here, and he's won us a hell of a lot of games, but I just feel, we've got to look at the bright side of this, because if you would have asked me a year ago, we'd be sat in 5th position and we'd be pretty much doing really well, and we currently haven't got Declan Rice, Aaron Cresswell, Michail Antonio, I'd be laughing, and we've coped reasonably well. We've got the game against Burnley next Monday, which means a bit of a longer break, so let's hope that Declan Rice and Aaron Cresswell are back for that. But Chelsea, they didn't really offer too much. I feel they just go over the line. I don't think we deserved a point, but obviously the Fabian Balbuena red card. Josh, I'll get your thoughts on that in a moment, but I'll make my point clear. Firstly, if that's going to be the rule, players can't kick the ball more than 20 yards, because if they're going to follow through, and then if that makes contact, that's a red card now. Yes, his studs were up, and yes, it looked like there was force on it, but he was following through his kick. That's what footballers do, I'm afraid, but it doesn't. I don't think it impacted the game. I feel it stopped our momentum going because we had quite a good run on, quite a good spell. I mean, it was a 2-minute VAR break, so that halted the momentum, and then of course we were down to 10 men, which was always going to be our for the last 15 minutes. But it's disappointing. But Josh, I'm going to hand over to you for from a neutral's perspective. What do you think of the result?
Yeah, I don't think either side were at their very, very best, but I still think that Chelsea were the better team. As you said, Lingard didn't really turn up. None of your attacking players really did, and sometimes I think when Rice and Cresswell are injured, it just leaves you a bit exposed at the back. Sometimes, like Rice is like the anchor man in the midfield that you need to win the ball back, get it, pass it, and just does the dirty work in the midfield. And I think that's who you're missing. And I hope he comes back soon as well, because if Henderson's not fit for the Euros, he's definitely starting in my Euros side. So I hope he comes back soon as well. But the red card was just ridiculous. Balbuena,
Yeah.
I know Balbuena is known for being rough and tough, but that's not a red card. He went for the ball, didn't he? It's just ridiculous. I think the handball appeals
Didn't mention
earlier
that, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one, to be honest. Was he trying to get the waiver? I don't know. But overall, I don't think any of them things really affected the game too much, because just Chelsea weren't really the best at their best, but they still were better than West Ham, I think, because I know Werner had a shocking miss after this goal, but he still got the goal. Chilwell played quite decent. So yeah, I think Chelsea probably deserved it.
Yeah. It's difficult. I didn't even mention the penalty. When I saw it initially, I said that's never a penalty. I thought, but we're in these VAR days. We're in 2020 when anything can be given as a penalty, can't it? I feel if that would have been given against me, I would have been fuming. If I'm being honest, his hand was here. It wasn't like it was out here. His hand was there. He couldn't have really done anything more to hide it out of the way. If that would have been given against me, I wouldn't have been happy. So I just put it out. Yes, it touched his hand in the box. Whether that's now, I don't know whether they've changed the rule. Whether that's a bang on penalty, I don't know. But the rules confuse us, don't they? But do you think, Josh? I'm going to put this to you. I'm just going to lump it on you now. The massive discussion statement of VAR. What do you think? Do you think they're making decisions right? What do you think's going on at Stockley Park? Do you think they're putting VAR into practice well? What's your overview of it in the last few years? Because we continue to see these dodgy decisions.
Yeah, I think when it first got brought in, I thought it was the right thing to do. But like ever since it's been brought in, it's just not really worked, has it? And last season and this season, whether there's fans or no fans, it's just been really, really stupid, because it takes the fun out of the game. Like when fans were in the stadium, when there's no better feeling than the ball hitting back when the ball hits the back of the net, cheering. But with VAR, you never know if it's going to count or not, do you? Because even if it's a goal from like 30 or 40 yards, like a screamer, there could have been a foul in the build up to it or something like that. So you just don't know. They check every goal, I think. So yeah, it's ruining the game. But if you put it this way, I'd rather have VAR in the Premier League than the Super League, than that Super League going ahead. It's better than that, but it's still not the greatest. But I don't think they're going to scrap it, are they? It's been here for a couple of years now. I think everyone's used to it. But they do get the odd thing right, but it's also the amount of time that it takes to make their decisions. Sometimes it takes over 5 minutes. It's ridiculous. It just takes the fun out of the game. But as I say, I'd rather have that than the Super League.
It's just you mentioned the factor of it. We can sit here and discuss VAR all day, like it or not. But I just feel the time it takes, and I mean, when it's a offside, we can see what they're doing. You know, they get the picture of it, they whack the lines on there, they zoom in on the fingernails, they zoom in on the all of it, and you know the lines, and is his fingernail playing him on side? It's just as you said, ruining football. But I think, as you said, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere anymore. I think the only way that it was going to be scrapped is after the first season, if they thought that, you know, we're not putting this into practice well and it's ruining football. They didn't make that decision. I don't think they're going to make it 2 years in now. Not in my opinion. Right, we're talking about mini heat waves. Crikey, mini heat waves. Andrew says, don't praise St. Maximin too much. The price will go up when we make an offer. Some fans would like it if we made an offer. Chelsea controlled the game. The Newcastle loss was a shocker. Yeah, I agree. I do, Luke. Scott says, no goal today, unfortunately. My playing partners were selfishly busy today. Selfishly, very selfish of them, Scott. Luke says, maybe not controlled, but managed. Lovely in Hampshire since Friday. Saturday was like a summer's day, barbecue and beer. Well, there you go, Luke. There you go. Luke says, daughter had footy practice. Might need to get her some Astros as the ground was rock hard. Well, wasn't a penalty in my opinion. Brilliant if VAR had given us the penalty. But against us, I would have been livid. I completely agree. Would it have been given at the other end? Who knows? Who knows? We will never know. Scott says, from memory, VAR worked so well at the World Cup. Completely different story now. It seems, you know, when you look at other countries, Josh, it seems like it's put into effect, put into practice well in other countries, but they just can't do it in England, can they?
I know, like that's why I would have. That's why after the World Cup, they said they were going to put it in the Premier League, and that's why at the time I thought it's the right thing to do because it worked really well in the World Cup when they used to go up to the screen, and they go up to the screen now, but it just doesn't seem to work in England. And last season, I don't think they used to go up to the screen at all. It's like, and it's meant to be the referee's decision, whereas last season weren't the referee's decision. If it went to VAR, the VAR would have the last say, I think. So I am glad now that they brought the screen back in so the referees can go and look at the screen, so at least the referees have the final decision. But I still think that even when they go to look at the screen, it just takes ages, just more injury time, and it just doesn't seem to work in England, does it?
No, it doesn't. I don't know whether it's just the English referees. I don't know. Who knows? But another shock. A shock game. Let's say Sheffield United bottom of the table, rock bottom without a manager, relegated from the Premier League. Took 3 points off Brighton, who were, I'd say the three in the relegation zone are going down now, but they were in some sort of a relegation battle. A bit of a shock to you, Josh?
I don't know, because I think Brighton I think they're not safe yet, but they're pretty much safe, aren't they? So they don't have much to play for. So I don't think they really went out. They were quite poor. But Sheffield United, they were fair enough to them. They're down, but they played really well in that one, defended really well. The goalie was brilliant. I think he might be getting a move if they go down. They've gone down. But I think, yeah, they deserved it because they defended really well, and the goal was a bit scrappy, poor defending, but they'll definitely take it. And I think I said it before. I don't know why they sacked the manager, but I'd like to see them back up. Hopefully they can get a good manager when they go down. I know John Terry, our assistant manager, has been linked with the job. I don't know if he'll be the right man to get them back up, but yeah, they deserved it. Ramsdale pulled off some brilliant saves, and I'm not a fan of their defence at all, but they played really well last night. And the offside, it was a bit, yeah, I think they got it right for once. VAR, he come from an offside position, didn't he? But yeah, they deserved it. United.
Yeah. FIFA Crimo Unofficial says Ramsdale man of the match in that game and would have been about 5 if it wasn't for him. Nikki or Ryan, hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Ryan usually uses his own account, so I'm gonna guess Nikki there, but who knows? Who knows? Scott says let's hope Palace do us a massive favour this evening. Yeah, definitely. Looks like a young Ryan and Nikki. So on West Ham Fan TV, there's Ryan and Nikki, and Dad said we look like a young pair of them. Who knows? Who knows? And then he said, "I've never looked that young, Richard." Oh dear. Well, you never know. You never know. But the next game, just before I play the Canning Town Len video, the next game, and this was a shock as well. Wolves 0, Burnley 4. I mean, it puts our 3-2 to shame. That does. I mean, we play Burnley next week. We should be scared of them. I mean, Wolves haven't been on form this season, but Chris Wood hat trick 4-0. Mad game, Josh.
Yeah, if you had Chris Wood in your fantasy football, then you'd be lucky.
Tripled.
Yeah.
I saw somebody tweeted him saying, "Has anybody got triple Chris Wood?" And 4 people have who had triple captain Chris Wood. That would have got some points.
I had Ollie Watkins as captain. I had a shocker of a week, but yeah, if you had him as captain, you would have then done really well. But yeah, Burnley, give all the credit to Burnley, they did really well. But Wolves, they've just, I don't know what's happened to them. I think they've just thought, we can't get Europe now, we'll just settle for mid-table. We'll just not really go for it. But I think even before they started going a bit like that, they haven't had the best of seasons, because I think Jimenez's injury is really knocked them, because he was like their main goal scorer and he was a good all round forward, and they have some good strikers like William Jose, Fabio Silva, but just still nowhere near at the level that Jimenez was at. But yeah, the Wolves, they've already got the flip flops on. They were they just didn't look at it. Cody was just getting turned inside out by Chris Wood every time, and that's why he wouldn't start in my England side. Even with the mistakes that John Stones would make, I still wouldn't. I don't even know if I'd take him the Euros, Cody. But yeah, Wood played really well, and fair play to Burnley.
Yeah. I mean, Wolves have had a funny old season, haven't they? After a fantastic season, last season, as you said, I think they've, with the loss of Raul Jimenez to that unfortunate, really not nice injury. I think that's really halted them, and they got the flip flops out. But yeah, just a strange season, for me. I don't know, but Scott's loving the DT38 heart. Thank you very much. God, you got the nice emojis in there. Let's see. Scott knows how to work these things. Yeah, as I said in a couple of videos ago, thanks to DT38, they come on and did an awareness video with me a couple of weeks ago. They sent me out some cool stuff. There's a hoodie there. There's another hat up there. I'm wearing a hat, t-shirts, the lot. So thank you very much, guys. Gary comes in every week to try and persuade Josh to be a West Ham fan. Gary says, "Evening, boss. Evening, boys. I will buy Josh a West Ham top if he comes over to our side. At least he will see European football next season." That is some persuasion there from Gary.
No.
This is the car. Gary, you try so hard every single week, but you keep getting no's, I'm afraid. Luke says Burnley turned into Bayernly just before we rock up. Typical. Yeah, I know, we play them next week. I didn't quite get that there till I read it Bayern. So yeah, I got it. Always the way, Luke. It is a side of rubbish for 10 games, then they put in a fantastic performance, and then we got to play them the week after. That is for sure. Chris says it's a nightmare. Wood always scores against us. Yeah, he's a threat. Quite a physical threat he is. And it doesn't help that he's just scored probably one of his, I'm not sure he scored many hat-tricks in his time, Josh, but bit typical, that is.
Yeah, I think that was like his first hat-trick in something like 7 years, so his confidence will definitely be high for when they play you next week.
Yeah, well, that's a stat, isn't it? Luke says Brighton will bring in Grant Murray just to play us. Yeah, they'll bring in Murray. I mean, he always scores against us. He always does. He's not there, but it will still come to haunt us in some way. Oh, I hate playing Brighton. They always win against us. There you go. Dawson will have him in his pocket. Hey, there we go. Is he joining us tonight? Where's Craig Dawson? Where is he? He's coming back. He's fresh from his one match pan. There he is. There's Craig Dawson. We will see if he gets picked up. To be fair, I think Moyes ain't got much option with the injuries we've got. And now, I mean, we've appealed the Balbuena red card, but whether that'll get overturned enough in time for the game, I don't know what will happen. But we might not have any other option to play Dawson, even if Moyes didn't want to play him. But we've got two more games to react to. We've got a game to predict, and we're going to do the Carabao Cup final. It does say the Premier League roundup show, but we're going to do the Carabao Cup final as well, just for the fun of it. But before we do that, check out Canning Town Lane. Look, Josh has got his picture. I've got my picture. It's up in the top corner. It's everywhere. Check out Canning Town Lane using the link in the description. I'll be back in just a minute. Canning Town Lane is your best place to buy custom portraits that you can buy on the internet. Canning Town Lane does animated portraits like this one he did for me up here. They're absolutely fantastic and I couldn't recommend them enough. So just some ones that he did for me. I've got this one here outside the London Stadium. I mean, it looks just like me, really. The best possible kind of animated portrait, kind of animated cartoon kind of picture I could hope for, really. They're absolutely amazing and they are so realistic, look exactly like me, and they are very good to buy. So make sure you do click the link in the description down below to buy a portrait from Canning Town Lane. I'd highly recommend them. Click the link in the description down below. He does animated portraits, non-West Ham related, West Ham related, lots of different backgrounds, any shirt, any background. You can basically customize it to your absolute kind of needs and what you exactly want. So click the link in the description down below to check out Canning Town Lane. Come on, your irons. We haven't had this debate for a while. Do I look younger or older in that video? Josh, I'm going to ask you first. I've got a hat on tonight. Do I look younger when I filmed that video a couple of months ago or older? We have this debate every few weeks. I'm going to let you guys put your comments in. Do I look younger or older?
Oh, I don't know. I can tell you that. I'm not. You've got a cap on.
Sit on the fence. Sit on the fence. That's fine. That's fine. I'll take that. We're here to talk about football. Simon, sorry I'm late. I can't even blame the golf today. See, Scott wasn't on the course. Were you not in the course? I don't know. It's not a golf day. See, here we go. Simon always says I look younger. I don't know. I kind of get what you're saying, but we'll wait for some more comments for them to come in to continue that debate because I had 4 comments to come in. Right, here we go. I'm going older, just younger. Younger with a cap on. Look older with a dodgy barnet. What? I ain't got a dodgy barnet now. Here we go. Right. Right, there's a bit of negotiation going on here. Can Josh have a word with his contacts and swap Grealish for Lanzini and £15 million? We will take the 15 million in instalments if that helps him out.
That's just taking the mickey, isn't it?
Luke, you've been told there. You have been told, Luke. You're not going to accept that then. You're not going to speak to your contacts about that.
Oh, no, that's already enough.
Well, one thing that Jack Grealish hasn't done that Manuel Lanzini has done is scored a 94th minute winner against Spurs for all the comebacks to come true. We were 3-0 down after 82 minutes, and then Lanzini with a banger into the top corner. I mean, Grealish is better today. I mean, if they were to have a football game now, Grealish would probably dive more times, but he'd probably be better in terms of the football aspects. Would you agree, Josh?
Yeah, definitely. But Lanzini used to be good, but didn't he have a horrible injury a couple of years ago, I think, which done him for about a year or longer, I think. So But when on his first season at West Ham, I thought he was quite a good player.
See, I'm liking this. Josh has got so much knowledge on West Ham. Lanzini had a really good injury. I've got a funny feeling deep down in his bones, Gary, that we've got a West Ham fan here. But he thought, I'm gonna keep the colour, but just change the badge. I've got a funny feeling. You know that much about West Ham, Josh?
No, I just I'm not a West Ham fan. I just know a lot about the players.
You just know a lot about football. That's true. That's very much true. Luke says you were timeless, Jake, like the oceans. I mean, I don't know if that's a compliment or what. But thank you very much. I'd love Mings at Liverpool. He is a leader for Villa and think he would be great alongside Kabak. I'm going to ask you this though. There's been a bit of debate. Who do you prefer? Mings or Konza? If you had to pick one of them to go to the Euros in the summer, Mings or Konza?
I'd pick Konza because he's just been way more consistent this season. I know when I was praising him a few weeks ago, I think I put the mockers on him because he did a poor performance last night. But yeah, I'd definitely have Konza because when we first signed Mings, when we were in the Championship on loan from Bournemouth, he was rock solid, one of the best loan signings we'd ever made. But then towards the end of last year and this year, he's been a bit shaky. It's like he's a leader. He organises them all. He's good at that. Whenever Grealish is out like he is now, he's the captain. But he's too casual on the ball. Like sometimes it takes too many touches, and from corners, he's really tall. So from corners, he should be attacking the ball, but he never does. He tries to hold the men off, which is fine. But when he's that big, he should be trying to attack the ball. And when he's defending corners, he always gets on the post when he's the biggest man. So he should be trying to mark one of the opposition's men to try and edit away. But yeah, he's last ditch defending, blocking shots. He can put a few decent tackles in as well. He's really good, but I prefer Konza just because of how consistent he's been this season. His only poor performance was last night. I'd take Konza to the Euros over Mings. If he can keep it up, then I definitely would.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. I'm going to put this to you in a minute when we talk about the Aston Villa game, though. Pleased to see Wesley back yesterday. Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. Oh, no, that Lanzini goal. Simon says, I was in a pub in Exeter, and wow, the table went crazy. I can imagine. Moyes wouldn't start Grealish, far too attacking. Yeah, far too much flair, you know. And there we go. Scott hasn't done it yet. You've just missed the boundary. We like a half hourly hashtag free Ben Rama. And that comment was made at 7:32. So you were 2 minutes off your cut-off time, Scott. But anyway, I'll accept it. I'll let that go. Hashtag free Ben Rama. Thank you very much. Josh is Villa's equivalent to Kent Hammers. Kent Hammers knows everything about West Ham, and Josh is the equivalent for Aston Villa. There we go. That is a fair evaluation, I say. Hashtag free Ben Rama. Simon saying Mings. Josh, enjoy Grealish, mate. He is utterly brilliant. Konza all day long, although looked shaky yesterday. Konza. So FIFA Career Mode Unofficial was challenging you on this. What about Tammy Abraham for a loan spell? Is he up there with Konza?
Yeah, I think Abraham he was just really good when we had him on loan, didn't we? We had him on loan for the season. In the January, there was loads of Premier League clubs who wanted to take him off us because he was doing that well. He didn't single-handedly get us up, but he was in the top 3 for them best players that year. We went up from the Championship in the playoffs. When we went on that 10-game winning run, he was just without his goals, we wouldn't have done it. Obviously, Grealish was the main man again, but he needs someone to give service to, and that was Abraham. So yeah, he was definitely one of our best loans ever.
Yeah. But we will move on with the Premier League roundup show, and now this is one game that I didn't think would end in a 0-0 draw, and I was astonished when I saw Leeds have been involved in a 0-0 draw. But it was Leeds 0, Manchester United 0. 6-2 in the other game in this season, and I just think the last thing it was going to be was a 0-0. Football's a funny game, Josh.
Yeah, I thought after how good the last game was between the two, I thought it was going to be another great one. And Leeds and United have a bit of a rivalry, so the first time Leeds were playing them at home, I thought it'd be a really good game, and like, absolutely nothing happened. I know that there was a Luke Shaw handball, but I don't think that was a penalty. He tried to put his hands to the side. He was trying to get out the way of it. It definitely wasn't a penalty. And I know Dallas had had a chance earlier in the first half. United had a free kick right on half time, and that was it. Really, not much happens. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be a cracker, but ended up to be like about the one clear cut chance in the game, and that was all.
Yeah. The one game that I didn't think was there was 1-0 this weekend, and I did not think for a second it would be this game. But as I said, football's a funny game. Here he is. Peach is in. Hope you're well, Peach. Hope you're keeping well. Simon says, Josh, do you think John Terry is helping your defensive tactics?
Yeah, I do this season definitely, because last season we and yeah, he come in last season, or might have been the season before as well, but definitely last season it was defensively we were quite poor. But in the lockdown, we when you once it restarted, we'd have to change if we were gonna stay in the league. So I think there was like a lot of Zoom meetings in the lockdown and all that with the manager and Teddy, getting them to do all drills. And then when he come back, from the lockdown, the defence looked a lot better. I think Konza improved really well. Mings was playing slightly better. Target did well. El Mohammadi played his part, and he's not even that good, but he played his part last season. So, and then this season we have like something like the third best defensive record in the league, or something like that. So it's been, yeah, definitely changed something since that lockdown. So yeah, he is helping us, and I hope he doesn't get the Sheffield United job now.
Yeah, I feel like you've got a good backroom staff there. I mean, Dean Smith, I like him as a manager. John Terry, I think they work really, really well. Right. Saying hello to Peach. I actually clicked on the wrong comment. But Gary says, would you swap Grealish and Ben Rama for £10 million added on? Oh, it's never gonna be a yes.
No, I just thought, at the beginning of the season, I know we were after Ben Rama, and I watched him in the Championship a few times. Now I wouldn't have minded him to sign for Villa. I know we were linked with him. It was us, West Ham, and someone else, but another Premier League club. But West Ham got him in the end. I would have taken him, but he still hasn't scored for you. I think he has a few assists, but he still hasn't scored. But I would have taken him at the beginning of the season, but not for Grealish and 10 million.
Yeah, I think he's had 4 assists. I think somebody will correct me. 4 assists, I think he's had this season. But we'll carry on. We'll come back to the comments in a minute. But Peach, I've sent you a message on Instagram, so if you want to go and have a look, there's something there if you want to get involved. But so we will move on to your game then. Aston Villa 2, West Brom 2. I mean, there wasn't much going on in this game. 2 penalties, an own goal, a last minute equaliser. Nothing much happened. Josh, over to you. Give us your brief thoughts, and then we will dissect it. And we will go from there. What was your thoughts? I mean, you were lucky in the end to get a point.
Yeah, we started off really well. First 10 minutes, we got the penalty. El Ghazi finished it really well, and it was like we just fallen in the game. Then it was like we did really well first 10 minutes. It looked like it was going to be a really comfortable performance, and then just seemed to fall. And then a chance for them was coming, and the penalty, at first I didn't think it was a penalty, and then looking back at it, might have been in today's football, yeah, probably. But I can't even remember he scored the penalty now. But I know it was a good penalty. And 1-1 half time, and then as soon as second half began, they scored again. We didn't wake up from half time. It was really poor. The only good player in the first half was Target, who's been really consistent throughout the whole season. Definitely most improved player, because last season he had quite a difficult first season. And players like Barkley, who have been doing really poor in the last few games since Christmas. I didn't think he played brilliant, but he played much better than he's been playing in the last few weeks. And then we had a little spell, about 55 minutes to 65 minutes of attacking, and then again just seemed to let them have a few chances. Martinez was brilliant again. Cons had a really shaky evening, but when they scored their second one, I'm going back a bit now, but oh well. When they scored their second one, I didn't realise it was an own goal at first off Mings. I thought it just went straight in, but it must have been going wide if he wouldn't have touched it. Konza slipped and then he went and put it in off Mings. That was Konza's mistake. And then about 70 minutes in, they kept having more chances. It could have been 3-4-1 in the end. As I say, Martinez made some really crucial saves, and then in the last few minutes, luckily, we got a point. But Davis and Wesley, who made his return after horrible injury, like 15 months, something like that.
16 months, I think. Yeah.
16 months, yeah. I think it was New Year's Day 2020 he got injured. So yeah, about that, about 16 months. And yeah, so it was good to see him back. But Davis and Wesley come on the 90th minute. They should have come on half an hour earlier. What's the point of bringing them on for 4 minutes in the 90th minute when we're 2-1 down? Or at least bring one of them on the 60th minute and just go for it, because we had nothing to lose. It was a poor performance anyway. It wouldn't matter whether we lost 4-5, 1 or 2-1. So I didn't understand his substitutions, but Davis got the goal at the end. It was a cock up with their defenders, who didn't play that bad in the match, but they cocked up at the end. And Davis could have missed. That was his first Premier League goal, so it's good to see him scoring, because I know he's a good player. He can hold the ball up, but he just can't finish his dinner usually. But he could have missed that one. And Wesley, he had a chance towards it, not really, half chance, headed it down comfortable for the goalie, but the last minute we got the ball back and we had it in their box again, and I'm thinking, we're playing well now, why didn't we play like that for the majority of the game? We just left it too late, really. And I'd say, I don't know if we deserved the point, because I think we were probably lucky to get a point in the end, because of how good they were.
Yeah, I watched up in the first half. I watched up to your goal, and then I watched the second half, and I think one of your best signings that you'll make for a couple of years is that Martinez. I don't know why. I don't know why Arsenal got rid of him. He's a superb signing. He pulled off some cracking saves. West Brom could have scored a couple more before you scored your equaliser. I think he kept doing it. In my opinion. Luke says, didn't watch it, but you can't be happy with the draw. West Brom and Big Sam. Yeah. Yeah, Josh, that's what we always say about Moyes. Yeah, subs too late. Subs too late. Sounds familiar. Yeah, it definitely does. That's for sure. Scott says Barkley has disappointed me. Started off really well at the start of the season, but has gone off the boil. An 11 million loan fee too. Do you agree with that, Josh?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because at the start of the season, he was one of our better players. I'm not going to say one of our better players. Definitely, him and Grealish were linking up really well, giving Watkins a lot of service, and he looked really good. And I was thinking, this is going to be a really good signing. He's playing so well, and he got injured and he just seems to come back not the same player. He just does my head in sometimes, because you can just see what he's going to do. When he passes it, you can see what he's going to do, because he takes ages to pass it. He looks for ages, and like he turns sideways, he passes sideways a lot. He just turns sideways. You can see what he's going to do next. It just frustrates me a lot. But since his injury anyway, but I should hope that he'll get back. He'll get back to his best soon. But look, last night he didn't play the best, but at least he didn't play. He didn't play that bad as in recent weeks last night.
Yeah. I skipped a comment that I like. There it is. Luke says, the money we think Declan Rice is worth, Grealish the same in my opinion. Yeah, I think these middle. I'm calling West Ham a mid-table side. We're running for Europe, and we're on. These sides like Aston Villa, West Ham. They've got this one player, haven't they? I mean, for you it's Jack Grealish. For us it's Declan Rice. There's just that one player that's really, really crucial to us, and we've seen in the last few weeks Grealish has been out. You haven't been doing so well. Rice is out. We haven't been doing so well. There's definitely a trend there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we had Grealish back, we wouldn't. It just adds more creativity to the side, doesn't it? And that's what we've been lacking in the last few weeks. So I think we might have won that game against West Brom last night if we would have had him. And before he got injured, I was coming on and saying it's not a one-man team anymore. We've had a lot of better players this season. We can cope without him now. We can't. We still can't. No matter that. Even though we have better players now, like Watkins, Target, Konza, when Barkley's at his best, Barkley, we have a lot more better players now, but we still just can't cope without him. It's just really, we're just relying on him too much, don't we? We need to start winning games without him, because if he goes for the summer. In the summer, I know there's talk of about 80 to 100 million, something like that. I know City, United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're all looking at him. So if he goes in the summer, and I heard the commentator say it last night, there's a lot of the time what happens to teams is they have a really good season, but then towards the end of the season they dip in form and then carries on until the next season. And I just hope that doesn't happen to us. Otherwise, we're just not going to be progressing.
Yeah, I agree. And Chris Mason put it, Jesse Lingard could be another one of those key players for us in the future. I don't think you've met Peach before, Josh, have you?
No, I've watched a few videos, but with him on, but I haven't met him now.
Oh, here we go. Peach, can you hear us?
Yo, what up, my G? What's going on, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
Yo, big up yourself. Big up, Josh. How you mean, man? Yo, man, I'm putting in work, dog. How you mean? Big up, Josh. How they like?
I'm good, thank you.
Yo, you're a G, man. How you mean? Yo, so what? You support Villa?
Yeah.
Yo, you can take tablets to that still, dog. Don't worry. The day's not over yet. The day's not over yet, dog. Straight up. You could come to a better and claret and blue like house still, man. Called West Ham.
No.
Peach, what's your thoughts on the weekend as we move into the final game? What's your thoughts of what we've been talking about?
What match? The one against Burnley?
I tell you what. The last game we talked about. We'll do the West Ham game. We would do the West Ham game. West Ham 0, Chelsea 1. I know you did your review. You only watched 5 minutes of the game. You did your review.
Yeah.
You talked for 9 minutes.
Honestly, 5 minutes is being like, 5 minutes is being like, that's being nice, dog. I didn't even get to see 5 minutes of blood fire, but I seen the highlights, so I know what it's all about now, dog. Like I done seen the highlights, man, and like, that was no red card at all. Like if that was a red card, then like Ashley Fletcher's thing was a penalty thing still, man. But anyway, go on. What are you saying, man?
Yeah. Just on that though. we have it's come out today. We've appealed the red card.
Right?
Do you think it'll get overturned, Peach?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? That buggers me up like the wrong side of the stairs still because like, yo, the referee seen it and then he went to the screen, watched it for once, twice, three times, the lady, and like kept watching it. Like, Josh, you're not a West Ham fan, you're a Villa fan. Was that a red card?
Definitely not.
Boom. That's what I'm talking about.
I like this
gonna,
comment.
It's gonna get rescinded. It's gonna get like put backwards. But how does that help us? That doesn't help us nothing because we were without one man for how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like this comment from Luke Peach. Luke says, "Well, Josh, enjoy the madness. Meet Peach."
Oh, come on. It's nothing but happy madness still. I got enough respect for Josh, man. One of my brethren, Josh, he's from Northampton. I rhyme with him, do like this rap thing with him, dog. He's from Northampton, dog, and he's like Villa through and through, man. And he can't praise like Dean Smith high enough, dog. So, yo, big yourself up, man.
Yeah. I've got this question. At the Cardiff 1927, I'm sure that's come over from Adam Footballer Brownie. So I hope you well. Would you take Europa League now, Josh? I'm going to ask you this first. If you were in West Ham's position now, is Champions League is fading from us? Do you think that we should take Europa League now from a neutral perspective?
After 2 losses in a row, I'm not sure. I'd probably still go for it, but you probably have to win every game from now to the end of the season, wouldn't you, if you're going to get it?
Bang on.
I think.
But yeah. But to be fair, Peach, I know we're not going to win every single game, but we've got very winnable games left, haven't we? We've got people like Brighton that are winnable, Burnley, Southampton. I know the only
we got all winnable games, dog. We got all winnable games.
You know, Peach,
hold
if
up,
we
one second. Hold up, dog. Hold up, 1 second. Hold up.
All right, Peach, we'll have you back in a minute when you sort yourself out. So whilst we wait for Peach to come back, we're going to do the final game of the weekend. We're going to preview it and then we're going to do, I'll tell you what, I'm going to kick him out because he's completely frozen. It kicks off in just 5 minutes time. Leicester versus Crystal Palace, Monday Night Football. Josh, what are you thinking for this game? Oh, hang on, 2 seconds. I forgot to unmute. Go on. Sorry. Carry on. Start again.
I think Leicester, they've come off the back of a good win against 3-0 at home against West Brom. I think that was the last game. But I remember last season they were miles clear of top 4 and they blew it. So they'll be hoping that there's not a repeat of that this season. But there's a good chance at the moment with Chelsea and you coming up. But I think if they can win this one, get a bit of form together, they should do it. I'd like Leicester and West Ham to do it, not any of the big ones like Chelsea and Liverpool. I'd like West Ham and Leicester to do it. I think Leicester should win. No, Palace are a funny team, but I think Leicester should have enough in Nacho. It'll be a good budget option on your fantasy football at the moment. He's scoring for fun. But I think if they can keep him like that from now to the end of the season, they should get top 4. And I think the score tonight, I think they're going to win 2-0, comfortable, Iheanacho, and I'm not sure about.
Oh, there we go.
I'm going to go for a really controversial one, and Ndidi.
He's gone for it. That is for sure. Let's take some comments then. James says, I'm loving Jake and Josh's reaction to the legendary Peach. And he is here as well. He's back.
Word up, James, big your blood clot self up, dog. Hey, yo, Josh, let me ask you something, dog. Why don't you have a Brummie accent?
he moved up to Liverpool, so I'm from Liverpool. But my dad's from Birmingham. My dad's a Villa fan, so I'm a Villa fan.
I'm just playing with you, dog. You're top class, man. You're top class.
And Luke's come back with it again. Another class comment. Never work with children, animals, or Peach. That's a
Never
bit
work
harsh.
with children, animals. Yo, Peach only works for the gals, dog. Peach only works for the gals. Take the animals out. Take what else? What the children out? Yo, just give me the gals, dog. Trailing all the gals like cyber ranking things, dog. How you mean?
Oh dear. Oh dear. See, there we go. You've got a seal of approval. Just say we're gonna get Champions League. Good man, Josh. You can come up again. You've got the approval from the fan base. Right.
Hey, Josh, listen, Josh, you know what? My brethren, Josh, my brethren, my G, let me tell you this, brethren. If it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be wearing claret and blue. So, big up your blood clot self, dog. Straight up.
West Ham are the right colours, but not the right team.
No. West Ham's the definitely right team. But it's like, excuse me. West Ham's definitely the right team. West Ham is your colors though, dog, because we had some man who played for us back in the day, who like outran all of your team, got 11 shirts, brought them back to 10 ironwork. That's how we got our colors, dog, straight up.
We won the European Cup in 1982.
Oh, here we go. It's getting a bit heated in here. This is the Premier League Roundup show with Jake and Josh and Peach. And Peach as well. But the last game, the Carabao Cup final, Spurs couldn't even win an energy drink cup final. So Peach, I'm going to come to you first. Man City 1, Spurs 0. City are on for the treble, Peach, and it's good to see Spurs that didn't win.
And you know what? It's good to see City win because now it makes the Champions League like what? Another place? Like 6, 7? Like, so it's beautiful to see City win, man. I don't want Spurs winning nothing. Like, Harry Kane went down. I was hoping he wouldn't get back up. Like, real talk. If England ain't playing in the next, 2 months, stay down, dog. Stay down. Straight up, man.
Josh, what was your thoughts on the Carabao Cup final? Man City 1, Spurs 0.
Yes, Spurs can't win a trophy for the love of the money, can they? But City dominated from start to finish. Spurs had 1 or 2 corners. That was it. Didn't do anything from them. And I remember when Kane set Højbjerg up and he tried to play it to Reguilon, but it just went straight out for the throw in. That's just Spurs for you in cup finals. And I just think, City were always going to win it, weren't they? With or without Harry Kane, didn't matter. They dominate from start to finish.
Yeah, that's for sure. And just Spurs just have 1 shot on target, just the one. They just wanted to be a bit conservative.
A bit sad. Like, Spurs were doing that, dog, taking a nap.
That is going to do it. Thank you very much for watching the Premier League Roundup with Jake, with Josh, and with Peach as well, with a cameo appearance at the end. But Josh, thank you very much firstly for coming on.
Big up, dog.
Thank you very much. And we'll do the Premier League Roundup show next week yet again. I'm Peach, my man. Thank you very much.
Big up, Jake. How you mean? J-A-K to the E. West Ham Unofficial in the place to be.
Well, there you go. And a new show on West Ham Unofficial is Peach Reacts. After every single game, Peach and Peach only will do his match review. The first one was against Chelsea. He didn't even watch 5 minutes of the game when he did a 9-minute review on it. So that's going to be after every game. The day after, Peach will give his review.
Brethren, we're gonna take this to the moon. How do you mean? See me soon. Take this to the moon. I'll send out my goons. gonna take this to the moon. Champions League for true.
Well, Lee, thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video. This has been the Premier League Roundup show with Jake, Josh, and Peach. From me and all of the guys there. Come on, you Irons, Peach, and goodbye.